You told me you started with the drums in college and you started making beats in New York. Were they hip hop beats or were they reggae?
Mostly.
Beats? Mostly hip hop.
Mostly hip hop. Yeah, man. I was a hip hop head. Love hip hop.
Who were some of the people you were listening to?
Oh, and them times, Nas, Dead Prez, who I got to work with, actually. Let me see. Diggable Planets, I remember being into them. Yeah. You know, my older brother was an influence on me, so basically whatever he was listening to, whatever he brought back from college when he went away, you know, which is a lot of De La Soul, Native Tongue, you know. So hip hop was definitely in my blood as far as my core interest. I'm a youth of that time period, you know, when hip hop was in that golden age. So my early productions always had that in it as well. You know, reggae music is my love, and I started playing reggae as I'm playing hip hop. It's like they emerged together in my musical journey. It wasn't like one before the other. So.
And what were some of the reggae sounds you were listening to during that time? That's like all Till Shiloh in that era, it seemed like. Right?
Sizzla, yeah, you know, Sizzla. In them times, Sizzla running the road.
Real quick, how big was Sizzla in St. Croix at that time?
Sizzla turned so much youth Rasta in St. Croix throughout the world, you know, but Sizzla was definitely big in the VI. But I was in Brooklyn at the time. I was living in New York City, and after college, I was in Brooklyn for a couple of years. And
that's Firebrand time, Anthony B.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Used to go down to Ethiopian Taste and get a cassette of the latest mix, and Sizzla, Tony B, all them, man. So big influence on my spirit as a Rasta man. I wouldn't say so much musically, although I love the Exterminator sound. To me, that's one of the heaviest, cleanest sound in reggae music. But more message and spirit and energy as a young Ras, you know? Sizzla give you so much charge when you listen to his songs. So that was a big influence on me. But musically, it's more like Twinkle Brothers, Josh Shaka, Aswad, a lot of UK reggae, roots music, Bob Marley, of course. You know, these are the kind of deep root sounds. Yeah, man. I mean, one of the greatest. Yeah.
So, all right. So you're growing into music, right? Mm-hmm. When did you get exposed to Rastafari?
In college.
Yeah.
In college, yeah. I would say in college on a deeper level. Of course, Rastafari is a part of St. Croix community from decades, even from the 1930s, I've been told by elders. You know, same time as Jamaica, you have elders living a natural lifestyle in the hills in St. Croix, growing natties. So St. Croix has a deep tradition, but my personal exposure became deeper when a brethren of mine in college, shout out to Eric Williams, he went to Jamaica for a semester and came back with so much inspiration and knowledge about Rastafari that he shared with I. And at the time, I would say very open and receptive to a worldview to fit the kind of uncomfortability I feel in this world coming to America in Boston, not wanting to do the path that is set before me, which is make as much money as you can for somebody else to be richer, you know? That's the pathway. If you come out of these elite schools, you can get a $100,000 a year job as a 21-year-old man making money. And you can see a pathway to get rich and retire early. And I looked at that life and I said, no, sir, that sounds miserable. And what am I doing if all that I'm doing here for is to make somebody else richer? No, man, there's so much greater things and more important things in the world than that. So I decided, let me just figure out what it is I want to do. And starting with teaching helped me because it's service, but it's also you explore yourself when you have to get in front of people and speak every day, and children, you have to explain concepts. It really helps you with yourself as well, you know?
And that's a blessing you came to that revelation so early. Well, most people never come to that revelation. And when they do, it's not too late, but they come to it at a later stage in life. Yeah. And miss out on decades. So we give thanks that you saw that so early and actually acted on it, and then it get stunted by fear.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
Yeah. So it's a good thing. All right, moving forward now, right? You're citing up the faith. I take you getting more militant.
Yeah,
right?
man.
What were you reading at the time?
Well, the autobiography of His Majesty, The Wise Mind of His Imperial Majesty, a lot of speeches of His Imperial Majesty to understand the message, because what I realized kind of early is that Haile Selassie, his words were the best self-help word sound you can get in life, better than any of these new age people who try to help you think better. His speeches contained formulas, and there were speeches he gave to students, to the military, to his country, but they cover so many topics and so clear and so articulate and so to the point. So to me, that's always the foundation and starting point for the spiritual, intellectual tradition of Rastafari, are his speeches. You know, Vaughn has a song, His Speeches, His Speeches. But beyond that, the Bible, various nonfiction books. You know, I like nonfiction more than fiction. I feel like there's not enough time for too many stories right now. You know, when I started working with Vaughn, he introduced me to a lot of different books I'd never heard of.